Well, hello and welcome to everyone. India, as we all know, completed a dominant victory. Ronak and Sachit obviously predicted that India would dominate today, and certainly that's what happened. With the bat, we put on the total of 164, and Sri Lanka weren't able to chase it. They only could manage 126 runs on the board, and they lost all their wickets, courtesy of some amazing fast bowling as well as some containment by the spinners from India. So, Ronak, let me get your quick thoughts on this. Obviously, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Deepak Chahar got those 6 wickets among them, but it was certainly the spinners who turned the game, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, if I was to give the man of the match today, I would have given it to Yuzi Chahal because that 15th over of his really turned on the game that where he gave just 3 runs, and after that he assured India that Sri Lanka has to go after every ball, and that is when Deepak Chahar got those crucial wickets when
Yeah.
Sri Lanka was going great guns and he was just trying to hit every ball for 4 or 6. So yeah, for me, UG Chahal turned the match on.
Well, yes, Sri Lanka was the danger man for Sri Lanka, and apart from him, absolutely nobody looked, even who could clear the ground. But the two sixes that Sri Lanka hit off Chakravarti really seemed to show how good a player he was. So, Sachit, do you think the Sri Lankan batting lineup lacks a bit of quality at the moment? Obviously, it does, but then what are the things that Sri Lankan batting can improve, especially when playing against the spinners?
I think they've got a solid opening pair. In this entire series, they've had a good opening pair. They've always had a good start. Even in this game, Avishka Fernando came in and scored some important runs. And that seventh over from Bhuvneshwar Kumar really turned things around. If not, he would have gone on to score some big runs. So I feel that uh, the opening pair is not a problem. But for them, the number 3, 4, and 5 that come in after the openers, I think they are the concern because we've also seen their death batting do well, even in the ODI series, even in this game. So I feel that 3, 4, 5 is probably a problem, is probably a concern, and they'll need to address it as soon as possible because if their middle order lacks, if their middle order doesn't score runs, then I feel that Sri Lanka will lose matches just the way they did today from here on. So I feel that their middle order is a huge concern, and their board and their selection policies has always been disastrous. Not having Angelo Matthews for this series has also been kind of a concern for them. So obviously that middle order is troubling them, and I hope they address it as soon as possible.
Some vital points there by Sachit. Ronak, obviously, there were a lot of positives in this game, but as Kaustubh and even Prashant here, even Amog has mentioned at the moment that Hardik Pandya's form, is it a big concern for India heading into the World Cup? Because we did see that he was lacking timing with the bat, and then with the ball, obviously, he did get 1 wicket, but then he wasn't that impressive with the ball as well. So, do you think, is it a big concern for us before the World Cup?
It is certainly a concern for us, but a big concern, I would doubt that because Hardik Pandya is coming back from injury, especially 2 injuries and a surgery as well. So, a back surgery. So, I would not take it as a big concern because you need game time to improve your bowling. You cannot improve your bowling the nets. You need a practical environment to do that. So this series was actually tailor made for him to get his line and length correct and work on his fitness as well as bowling fitness because match fitness is different and bowling fitness is different. You have to understand the difference between those two, especially as a fast bowler because as a fast bowler, your fitness criteria are very different. And even Indian team management has made it very sure of that they put a different criteria for fast bowlers and different criteria for other batsmen and their spinners. So uh, Hardik Pandya to get a match fitness would be absolutely necessary that he goes on to play the next 2 matches as well because we need him for our balance in the World T20 because he will provide a very good combination with him, Jadeja and Pant. So we need that combination over there.
Right. Good point made there. Sachit, my question to you will be kind of similar. Krunal Pandya is looking good with the ball at the moment. He's a spinner, of course. We do need a left arm spinner as well in our attack. Do you think Krunal could replace Hardik?
That's a tough one because if you see the World T20 side will also have Ravindra Jadeja. So Krunal
Yeah.
Pandya will have competition with Jadeja and not Hardik Pandya. And the conditions might you never know how the conditions will be in the World T20. So you never know if it might suit the pacers or the spinners. If they need an additional spinner, then maybe they can get Krunal Pandya to replace Hardik Pandya. But if not, I think Hardik Pandya makes it in the level.
Okay. Uh, if, there's been a lot of talk in the comments actually about this Hardik Pandya thing. Sanchit has asked a question that is he more complacent right now because he knows in the back of his mind that he's the best player for his spot at the moment. And Ronak, do you think it's playing on his mind? Is he more complacent at the moment, or do you think it's just a rough phase which will pass by?
It is just a rough phase. He have to be consistent and try to improve throughout the series. It will be interesting to see how he goes on about his game in the second and third T20 if he is given a chance. And I think that Indian team management will back him for three T20s because we saw even in the third ODI he was backed, and everyone thought that he would be dropped for someone else. But that is the main thing over here. He is back throughout the series to give him a proper match practice to get his fitness or say whatever it is back because he is very important for the team. And no, he would not get complacent because we know that what quality does he possess, and once he gets back to his form, then he can be destructive in both the assets of game.
Right. Sachit, a word on our spinners. Varun Chakravarti, obviously, we saw that he has seven different variations in his bowling. And apart from those two sixes, how would you say Varun Chakravarti performed today?
I think he's done a pretty good job, an impressive debut. But I think economy is kind of a concern which he needs to work on. He's shown a lot of variations, which is obviously interesting. But if he can just get them to, if he can just get them to restrict runs, then that would be very helpful. Because seven variations is not a joke. Any batsman would face a lot of difficulty facing that. So obviously, I think he's shown a lot of skill and temperament in this match, but economy is a concern. Almost every spinner in India faces that. Kuldeep Yadav also faced that a few years ago. He got dropped eventually. So I feel that economy is a concern for every spinner in India, and he needs to focus on that. If he does get the economy right, if he does contain runs, then I feel that he will be a brilliant prospect for India.
Perfectly put. Now talking about the batting, Ronak, enough with the bowling because it was a dominant performance by all our bowlers out there. Talking about the batting, where do you think India lacked? Because 160 was at par, but do you think we were 20-25 runs short of that big total?
Yeah, definitely. After the start that Shikhar Dhawan and Surya Kumar Yadav gave us, we should have gone on to get around at least 180. We were at least 15 to 20 runs short, looking at the conditions. But where we got wrong, I think players who did not get the start was okay. You can get out on good balls or bad balls, but players like Shikhar Dhawan or say Surya Kumar Yadav, they had to convert it in a big one. And now Surya Kumar Yadav has scored at least 3 to 4 50s and then got out in ODIs, in T20s, and even before that. So he will have to learn very fast how to convert it into a big one because going forward there will be a tough competition, especially for his place, which he normally likes to bat on number 3, number 4. So there will be a very tough competition for that space. Even Iyer is breathing down his neck, and
Yeah.
even Ishan Kishan. All these players are for buying for that place. Even Sanju Samson for that matter. So it will be very important for Surya Kumar Yadav to learn how to convert these starts into a big one. Imagine if he would have stayed for last 20 last till 18th or 19th over, then the score would have gone on to like maybe around 200 as well. We never know.
Yeah. Yeah, some key points made there, and rightly so. Sachit, what about Prithvi Shaw? I mean, lack of foot movement. Obviously, we do know that he has that lack of feet movement. But do you think that the ball was good enough to get him, or do you think he was just being lazy out there on the first ball?
I mean, of course, you can't take any credit away from the bowler. I feel Prithvi Shaw is just getting back to form in terms of his international performances. Once he got a call up from England, he's just like, all right, fine, I'll get out on that. But anyway, jokes apart, I just feel that no. I mean, I shouldn't be taking any credit away from the bowler. That was a good ball, but I think Prithvi Shaw just came back to his previous problem. That he's always had that problem. He's done it again, but hopefully he does forget about it. Just leave it here in Sri Lanka, and when he goes to England, just forget about this innings especially, and just focus on the positives and get back to what he has learned for all these months. I know he's overcome this obstacle once, and I hope that he does again, because India will definitely need him.
Yeah, right. India does need a big performing opener, and Prithvi Shaw is certainly one of those names which we have in our list. Ronak, do you think that this lack of feet movement and that casual attitude at the start of the innings will play a crucial role, like in the bad sense, when he goes to England? Because we all know that the ball swings a lot and it swings late in England. So, do you think Prithvi Shaw will be able to cope up with that, or will he continue with that same merry story?
First of all, I am happy for Prithvi Shaw that he got a call up from England, but I completely disagree with the team management's decision to call him up for England's tour, especially when he is in the contention for getting a T20 World Cup call up. So
Yeah.
he is a great prospect because he was going great guns before that. So suddenly calling him, and especially when team management has 4 or 5 backups for opening position in Mayank Agarwal, KL Rahul, and even Esarwan is also there. So why do you want to call up player and might not give him a game? And especially when he can prove himself in Sri Lanka and say have might have played 2 innings in Sri Lanka and did wonders for India, and he would have sealed his top 15 place in the World T20 bus. So I would not worry about that. I would worry about the fit movement and all this. I would not worry much about Prithvi Shaw because he is that kind of player. When he goes, he goes. He stays, he stays. We all like in his early years, we also doubted Virender Sehwag, and that he does not have fit movement. And how Virender Sehwag slapped down back on our faces, we all know that is a history. So I would not worry much about Prithvi Shaw's fit movement. If he's going great guns, then it is he will always get out for zero, and like in 10 innings he might get out on zero or one or two in say 4 or 5 innings, but the rest 5 innings are to watch out for.
I think we can. I think we
Yeah.
can include Dhawan into that mix in terms of Sachin, Sehwag. We can include Dhawan as well, because Dhawan always used to do that. 4 or 5 matches, never performs, and then all of a sudden gets a huge total.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually coming back to what you said about Shikhar Dhawan, because he's been in immensely amazing form. I mean, I have no words to explain his form in T20 cricket. Even in the IPL, we did saw those back-to-back centuries in the previous year. Even this year, he played that anchor role along with Prithvi Shaw, who was hitting from the other end. What has he done to not deserve a place in the T20 World Cup squad, Sachit?
He's just been in a lot of competition. That's it. I don't think he's done
Yeah.
any mistakes to. I don't think he's made any mistakes to not be included in the team. I think it's just about a lot of competition in India. There are several openers who are just as talented who can make it into the side. So I feel Dhawan is just about competition. He hasn't done anything wrong, and I hope that he does make it back to the side, because I feel that after this kind of performance, there is no way he can't. Rohit Sharma. I think every Indian fan would love to see Rohit Sharma and Dhawan open again. That's one of that's one of the best opening pairs India has ever had. So obviously that would be something very exciting. And yeah, of course, after this innings and after this entire series or the IPL this year, I think Dhawan has done everything in his power to make a strong case for himself, and I hope he comes back.
I would like to back Sachit with that, but I would say it is not tough competition from the openers. It is tough competition from Surya Kumar Yadav because he is so talented that Virat Kohli decided to open the innings in from against England. That also put up a hat. Virat Kohli saying that I would like to open for India. So that is also a mix of mixed baggage that are more competition for Shikhar Dhawan. So we have to blame Surya Kumar Yadav for that because he is so talented.
Talking about Surya Kumar Yadav, he had an exceptional game. He scored a 50 today, and one of many more to come is what we Indians would hope. Sachit, any words on Surya Kumar Yadav? Because I know we are short on words about what you spoke about him already, but what do you have to say about the timing and the field placements that he obviously looks at? Because every time there is a change in the field, he obviously hits that ball over the 30-yard circle wherever there's no fielder. So he's just playing with the field, it seems.
I think he's a very smart cricketer, and I'm so glad that Ronak and I predicted the exact predicted it exactly. We said Surya Kumar Yadav and Dhawan will be the highest run scorers, and that's what happened. So we're glad. I'm pretty glad about that. But I would just say that Surya Kumar Yadav is an extremely smart batsman. I mean, he has. I think he's done this several times for Mumbai and now for India as well. They sent him at number 5 in the ODIs, and he still played well. And now he went in at number 3, and he still scored runs. So obviously, I think this is something that number 4, number 3, number 4. I'm not so sure about that, but he still got runs at whichever position he was sent in. So that shows the immense talent that Surya Kumar Yadav has, and he's an amazing prospect for India, and obviously a tough competition for Shreyas Iyer. Probably Shreyas Iyer would be cursing him right now in his home, but otherwise, I think that's a great prospect, and obviously I think India would be very happy to have more backups, because it's not just Shreyas Iyer now. Surya Kumar Yadav has made a case for himself as well. So this World T20 selection is going to be very difficult for the selectors, but apart from that, I think this is a massive positive for India.
Certainly is. And talking about Sri Lanka now, Ronak, if you were the team coach for Sri Lanka, if you were Mickey Arthur right there, what would you say to your boys? I mean,
I think if you were anything like Dustin Langa, Dustin would be very scared of him right now.
Yeah. So if I was to be Mickey Arthur, first of all, I don't want to be in his place because that guy is always angry, and especially what we saw after the first and second game in ODIs. But if I was to tell anything to Sri Lanka, then I would say that the like they were doing really good till say Sri Lanka was batting. They were in very good position to win the match as well. The only concern is that no one in the middle order, apart from one or two players, like in every game we see one odd player goes on to hit big score. Otherwise, all the others falter. So there should be at least one or two players who would take responsibility, and others would evolve around him. Avishka Fernando is a good prospect for them, and he was batting brilliantly even today. So uh, he got out. That was unfortunate, but that was the turning point. One of the turning points of the match as well, because Avishka Fernando was taking the game away from us in the first couple of overs itself. But if I was to say anything to them, then I would say that take your time, get in. You have time in T20s as well. Players go on to think that in T20s you don't have time. You have to go from ball one, but you can take your time, 4 5 balls, see yourself in, and then go on to build an innings. From the batting perspective, I would say that. And in the bowling department, they have been doing uh, everything right, I guess. Uh, I don't see uh, much of any concerns in their bowling department, because all the spinners are doing good, and even the fast bowler today, he was pick up the bowlers for them. What was his name again? Chamira, I guess. Yes, Chamira.
Samira.
So he was the pick of the bowlers for them. So that is also a good positive for them. Nothing is going wrong for them. Only the things are that uh, they are they were winning. They were in the match till the 15th or 16th over. Just one over changed that game. So I would not worry that much. I would say that go on, boys, give a tough fight in the next match.
Cool. I hope you can convey your messages to the Sri Lankan team there. But yeah, Sanchit has made an interesting point here. Sri Lanka in 2021 series are way better than what they were in 2017 when they lost 6-0, like 3-0 in the ODIs and 3-0 in T20s. They have one game in ODIs, but then we never know what's going to happen in the T20s. So let's see what happens. Sachit, bowling for Sri Lanka, Hasaranga again the pick of the bowlers with in terms of the spinners, and then there was obviously Dushmanta Chamira with those 2 wickets. What do you have to say about the other spinners except Hasaranga? Obviously the medium pacer in Dasun Shanaka?
I think apart from Hasaranga, I don't think the spinners have done a very good job. because you expect a lot from somebody like Akila Dhananjaya because he's had a tremendous amount of experience. I think he's been playing for Sri Lanka since 2012, if I'm not wrong. So he's had tremendous amount of. Yeah, sure, go ahead, Rana.
Experienced players don't do good against India. Only the debutants do good for India. That is for sure. So you can count that out.
That's probably why he's
Go
not
on.
doing well. But
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, he's got so much experience and he's still not performing. Somebody like Isuru Udana, who's been traveling with Sri Lanka for a long, long time now, who's been playing with them for a long, long time, still hasn't been able to, perform as well as you'd expect him to. He's played the IPL as well. He knows many of these players and he still hasn't been able to do anything. So that's sad from Sri Lanka's perspective. The bowlers weren't at their best this match or in the entire series for that matter because Akila Dhananjaya, again, I mean, you expect a lot from somebody like him, and not performing is kind of sad. And Isuru Udana in the first ODI as well. I think in 2 overs he gave about 26, 27 runs, and that's why he had to be dropped for the next two. So I think Sri Lanka's experience hasn't come in handy this time. They would probably have to make more bowlers debut because then probably they'd perform against India. But apart from that, I don't think there's any other thing they can do right now because India, of course, you can't take any credit away from India as well. They've been very dominant. The batting has been exceptional. But Sri Lanka, yeah, their bowling, their spinners just haven't been up to the mark.
Yeah, even as Asalanka was a debutant.
So many new names that we're hearing day in and day out from Sri Lanka and from India as well. India, obviously, we do know because of the IPL, but so many new Sri Lankans coming in as well. Exciting talent, as Ronak mentioned, but it lacks a bit of consistency. One last question about Sri Lankan cricket, obviously, will be that where do you think, Ronak, Sri Lankan cricket is heading to? Because it's a very sad thing, to experience at one point of time. They were the lions of cricket, if I had to mention it in one way. There was Sangakkara, there was Jayawardene, there was Jayasurya and Atapattu and Chaminda Vas, Muralidharan, so many big names, and that completed their 11. After that, there hasn't been anyone who has filled their shoes. So where do you think Sri Lankan cricket is heading, and what kind of measures can be used to promote Sri Lankan cricket at a bigger level?
Yeah, in terms of consistency, they have to be consistent because they have changed maybe around more players than years are passing by as captains. So changing so many captains, changing so many like you should build a decision making team in your side to get a team going ahead because a coach is there, a player or two three players who are in leadership role, they should be constant. Otherwise your team would go haywire and everyone would like to do some funny things. So at least get one good coach. That Mickey Arthur would do a good job, I am sure, in future. But he should have a good sort of two or three players who are in the decision making process. And for Sri Lanka, it can be Angelo Matthews and say when Dimut Karunaratne comes back, when Chandimal comes back. So those can be the players who will be the decision makers. Right now, they have a lot of players who have just played one or two games, so it is not helping their cause. And as you said that Sri Lanka were the lions, and world cricket definitely needs the teams like Sri Lanka and say Pakistan to come back strong to put a case forward because we are losing on teams, quality teams day by day because only three, four teams are left. Even South Africa is going downhill on that
Yeah.
same path of Sri Lanka. So world cricket needs these teams to back up themselves, and Mickey Arthur has shared a good plan that how will he go ahead. He said that he will revive the first class structure of Sri Lanka. So that is a good prospect to have. But in as current form, they will struggle for 2 3 years. But they will have to be consistent for next 3 to 4 years to come back strong because they are trying to develop their first class again. And you can see it is already reaping benefits from players like Hasaranga and Asalanka.
If I may just add to that, I
Yeah.
feel that this is not the full strength Sri Lanka side. There have been three good players who were out for this tournament, like Kusal Pereira, Kusal Mendes. I don't know the other person, but this is not a full strength Sri Lanka side. So for
Yeah.
not being a full strength Sri Lanka side facing an Indian side with several strong players, I feel that they've done a pretty good job. And just to look at the optimistic side, I feel that Asalanka and Avishka Fernando and Dhanuka and all these players have really done well without their seniors and without their full strength side. So I feel that once the full strength side comes back in, I feel that they would probably go on to be a much stronger Sri Lanka side from here on. I feel that the future is not too dark. I feel it's a little bright. You can see on the bright side a little bit from here on, because the performances that these people have, the consistency and the kind of performances that these people have put up, I feel that that's very good news for Sri Lanka. And hopefully once the full strength side comes back in and somebody like Angelo Matthews comes back in, I feel that would make them a much stronger side than they are, and they would be pretty good contenders for the World T20 as well. Hopefully if they get Angelo Matthews as the captain and not somebody else, because experience matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Sachit over here because Sri Lanka gave a good fight in all the matches except for the first match in ODIs. So they could have won the second match easily. Just the sheer brilliance of and defiance of Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Deepak Chahar got us through. Otherwise, they would have won that match as well. So there is nothing wrong in their side. It is just that they are not with the regular players. As we are saying that this is our India B side. Most of the experts are saying that this is India's B side, though it is not. So Sri Lanka is also playing with their probably a B side because their 5 to 6 main players are not playing in their playing level. So that is also a factor.
Perfect way to end the show, because Sri Lankan cricket is an important feature of world cricket, as Ronak has mentioned, and even Sanchit has mentioned about what plans they should go with for the T20 World Cup coming up. That was the right way to end the show. It was a positive note, and we all do hope that Sri Lanka cricket obviously does get on to those big steps. And it's a small process. It's a step-by-step process, in fact, and we surely do hope for the best. But thanks, Ronak, and thanks, Sachit, once again. Thanks for the amazing company, and to all our viewers, thanks a lot. We'll be playing the trailer for our Experts Corner episode, which is obviously hosted by Sanchit and other two experts. And also, that was an important episode for the development of women's cricket in India at the grassroots level and obviously at the domestic level as well. So here's a look at the trailer.
And the day I started working on female cricket on this project, the motivation has always gone up, because every day there has always been new challenges, new opportunities that we come across. So I remember there used to be times when the usual working hours, like they say in IT field, is starts with 10, it ends by 7 or 8 in the evening. I used to be back by 10 or 11 sometimes in the night, and still have that same energy and same enthusiasm to work on female cricket. Honestly, I've never met any cricketer at the academy also that we run who comes and tells us ki, mujhko paisa kitna milega if I play for the country, what will I get if I get into the domestic circuit. One of the major goals that we have for female cricket for the next 5 years is that we want to set up a female cricket academy in each and every state of India in the next 5 years. And one of the other goals is to involve at least 1 million girls with cricket in India in the next 5 years.